You know, I had a hard time in school. I was mentally challenged. While other students could sit there and read a book once, I didn't get it. I had to read it 2 or 3 times before I could really understand what the book's about. I saw Black Widow, okay? I had to see it a few times, DVD of course, to understand what was going on. I saw Spider-Man, okay? I had to watch it a couple of times. And I realized this, that I had to watch the previous stuff on Spider-Man to understand what the latest Spider-Man is all about. Yeah, I kind of like forgot about that. So, you know, being mentally challenged. And I found out that I can read something, and if I read a set of numbers, I really don't read the set of numbers. It's like hearing. I hear a lot, but I don't hear a lot. I see a lot, but I don't see a lot. You know, somebody can say, "Oh yeah, hey, you remember that movie?" And I look at them as blank. Or people come up to me and say, "Oh yeah, we're talking." I have no idea who they are. Their faces do not register. Possibly their names do not register. I remember going to after this pandemic or that thing, going back to a church. I hit ever so often, and there's this girl there, and she puts her arms around me, and we're talking. I don't remember her. I don't remember her. I'm looking at her. I'm looking at her. I'm looking at her. And I looked at her name tag, Judy. Oh. Then I talked to her. I don't know her last name. That is a problem. It's like I had that growing up in school. Mentally challenged, you might say. I don't remember things. People, high school reunion, 60-year high school reunion. I didn't know anybody in that group, except for one guy. I kept seeing him all the time at the food bank, and yeah. But everybody else in that class, I have no clue who they are, who they were. Well, they know who I was. I guess I was a pretty well idiot standing out, but they knew who I was. But I don't remember anybody. And I belong to organizations the same way. They're all strangers. Oh well, you're old timers. Not old timers. It's always been that way. Something can happen today, and I won't be able to remember that tomorrow. Yeah, it is a challenge. And I understand people who drink or are on drugs, they lose that stuff. But I've always been that way. So it's a mentally challenge of me. And other people have the same problem. You get 2 people that don't know who each other are talking. And I had one guy ask me, "Who are you?" I told him who I am. And then I asked, "Who are you?" "Do we know each other?" "I don't know." We might have. I don't know. Like, I live in a neighborhood. I don't know who anybody is. I don't know who my next door neighbors are. If they have told me their name, I don't remember it. I wave, like I'm one of them. And I get a phone call every so often, so somebody's talking to me, and I have no clue who's on the other side of that phone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is pretty thing about is I carry a map with me. And people say, well, you carry a map. Oh no, I carry a map to figure out where I'm going. You know, today I will look at the map to get home. Yes. And to come here. And I have this list of names on people and addresses. I have to go here. I go to the library and I have to look at directions to go somewhere. And it's always been like that. I don't dare take a side street because then I will be lost. And it's there. And yet, I can tell you right now, in 1964, I went to Miami on my bicycle. I can tell you my first night out, because I did a lot of pedaling. I got first night out, second night out in Indiana at a little shelter. It rained. I can tell you that in Ohio of the same year, across from a monastery, I sat at a little wall, and funny thing is that a preacher came across, one of the monks came across, hey, you know, it's going to rain tonight and everything else. I told the guy, I have nothing to worry about. Why? It's because it's not going to rain on me. I remember that. It rained on the other side of the road. It poured on the other side of the road. It soaked the other side of the road. And I'm standing by the wall. Well. And they must have thought I was crazy, but I'm standing on the other side of the road watching them to get soaked. Oh, God's on my side, I think. But, you know, strange little things like that. And I got down into Miami, and I was down there for a few months. I found myself working in a restaurant and that, you know, paying rent and that. Then I came home. I said, oh, here's my little thing. And, but it's locked in my brain. It's like taking a test. You take tests? I failed tests. Yeah. If I take a test in something, even though I study, even though I read the book or the chapter, sometimes I read the wrong chapter. Think about that. I study for a test and read the wrong chapter. Oh, brother. I write even things down. And then basically, the other thing, I used to videotape all my classes. I used to audio record my class, and then I videotaped one of my classes. And it was a chemistry class. Okay. And I remember that. I don't really remember the class. I remember what I did. I took my little tape home, and I played it again. And I realized is that playing it again, it was the first time I heard the professor talk. All the years, decades, I wasn't absorbing what people were talking about. It's like the faces, the names. Mentally challenged. I talk to people and they call me. I have no who they are. And people call me. I don't know who they are. Even though I'm supposed to know who they are, I don't remember who they I was at a Gibbs meeting, that thing. People talk to me, they talk to me, who, that thing, sure. I see a name tag on them, and I have no idea who they are. Oh, brother. My mother came along, I want to know who she is. My father came along, my brothers and sisters come along. I want to know who they are. It's kind of like avoiding a lot of people when I don't remember who they are. Yeah. To talk about mentally challenged. Yes, I work with mentally challenged. What's a mentally challenged person besides me? Somebody who can't tie their shoelaces. You ever tried tying your shoelaces? Yeah. Somebody says that's yeah. There's a lot of mentally challenged people who happen to run for U.S. Congress and they get elected. Really, I want to know why. I don't know. Some of these mentally challenged people. I like the one with the every person should have a firearm. Okay, you mean that she should have a firearm? Oh no, she can't have a firearm. Why? She'll shoot you. It's like there's that thing about the Democrats. No one should have a firearm, but you can have an abortion. And the Republicans say all women should have the right to a firearm, but they can't control their bodies. Really, Republicans are the Taliban, and the liberals are the what? Conservatives are the Taliban, and the liberals are the whatever. Oh, the liberals are our founding fathers, because if you look at the Constitution, that's extremely liberal. Oh, you better know. A right to bear firearms, freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Are you kidding? Those are liberals. And these people, conservatives, that say, oh no, they're all conservative. Oh, no, they're not. Freedom of speech. That means I can call the President of the United States a bozo. I can call Donald Trump something a lot worse than that. Hey, Dow, you lost. You lost the first time by 3 million. That was shocking to him. You know why Donald Trump could never figure it out. He took it a long time to figure out. He got the electoral votes of the states, but he lost the popular vote by 3 million. In 2020, he lost by not getting the electoral votes and by 5 million votes. And of course, he's going to run again and screw up everything up, because nobody rational person is going to think, oh, that's my mentally challenged, is to forget how stupid he was for 4 years. Yes, I'm supposed to forget that. Now you're mentally challenged. Now you're supposed to forget how stupid he was for 4 years. What do you mean how stupid he was? Do you realize that he had a casino and it went bankrupt? Really? He had a casino. It went bankrupt. A lot of his ventures, he goes bankrupt on them. It's like, how much is he worth? He's now talk about mentally challenged. He kind of like forgets a lot of stuff. Oh yes. It's like, But back to little me. I will try to remember who you are if I meet you. There has to be something that will click. Your height, your weight, your eyes, your smile, your frown. But that's. I don't know. Maybe a lot of times I do have a hard time. Well, maybe it's a thing. When I applied for getting into the U.S. military, I passed all the tests, but I couldn't pass the physical. That was another challenge. My lungs were underdeveloped. Ouch. And the brain was underdeveloped too. Oh, brother.